welcome to our third installment of Trivia Never Dies, where ghosts of trivia contests past are alive and well and ready to haunt you again. You know the drill by now. 5 categories, 7 to 10 questions per category. Keep your own score and no fair looking in Google. Let's get at it. All right, our recycled contest today was originally held in July of 2019. And let's begin. Category 1. First, a definition for Category 1. Do you know what an anagram is? An anagram is a word, phrase, or name formed by rearranging the letters of another, such as when you take the word cinema, rearrange the letters, and create the word Iceman. Do you get the idea? That's what an anagram is. So, Category 1, the title is Disparagement, Alan, sir. But that's an anagram, which, when you rearrange all those letters, it becomes presidential anagrams. All right, so I'm going to give you 2 words, and when rearranged, those 2 words are the name of a U.S. president. You'll quickly catch on to that. Here's the first one. Volcanic Goldie. Volcanic Goldie. Rearrange those letters and you will have the name of a U.S. president. And you may want to pause the broadcast while you work it out on paper or in your head. And then when you're ready, we will move on. Number 2, bugger shoe. Bugger shoe. When rearrange those letters, create the name of a U.S. president. Pause if you need to. Number 3, forged lard. Forged lard. Rearrange those letters to create the name of a president. Pause if you need to. We are moving on. Number 4, revolver glanced. Revolver glanced. If you need to pause, please do so. Otherwise, we are moving on. Arranged loan. Arranged loan. Well, go ahead and rearrange those letters and you'll have the name of a U.S. president. Pause if you need to, because we are moving on. Hannibal clamor. Hannibal clamor. Rearrange those letters to spell the name of a president. Two more to go. Portland mud. Portland mud. Pause the recording if you need to. Otherwise, we are moving on to our last president, whose name, when anagramized, becomes Research Truth. Research Truth. All right. That was the final question in that category. So let's go back and review and see how you did in the category Presidential Anagrams. The first one that we had, if you'll recall, was Volcanic Goldie. Well, that would be Calvin Coolidge. Calvin Coolidge. Bugger shoe, when you rearrange those letters, you get George Bush. There he is smiling at you. Forged lard is Gerald Ford. Revolver glanced is Grover Cleveland. Arranged loan is Ronald Reagan. Hannibal clamor is Abraham Lincoln. Portland mud is Donald Trump. And last but not least, research truth is Chester Arthur. Chester Arthur. All right. Well, how did you do on that one? That was kind of an interesting, different sort of category, wasn't it? Stretched your brain in just a little different way that time. All right. Let's move on to category 2. Remember that this was broadcast this trivia session was held in July of last year, which happened to be the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing. Okay, so we had a category at the time. Let's get that arranged here. There we go. 50 years ago, men walk on the moon. So this category is about that moon landing, July 20th, 1969. Seems like yesterday, but it was a long time ago now. All right, let's begin. The ancient astronomers, to them the large flat plains of the moon resembled seas, so they named them accordingly. Which sea, quote-unquote sea, did the astronauts of Apollo 11, that first moon landing, what sea did they land upon? As always, if you need extra time, go ahead and pause your recording and then pick it up as soon as you've got the answer. We are moving along to number 2. What animal is featured on the official Apollo 11 emblem patch? What animal is featured on the official Apollo 11 emblem patch? Number 3. The day before the moon landing, another major news event, this one involving a Kennedy, claimed the headlines. The day before the moon landing, another major news event, this one involving a Kennedy, claimed the headlines. Question 4. Astronaut Neil Armstrong carried a piece of wood during the mission, which came from an airplane belonging to whom? Astronaut Neil Armstrong carried a piece of wood during the mission, which came from an airplane belonging to someone. Who is that person? Question number 5. Who was president at the time? He phoned the moon from the Oval Office to congratulate the astronauts and called it the most historic phone call ever made. Who was the president at the time of the first moon landing? Question number 6 has a bonus, actually 2 of them. Apollo 11 was the first manned moon landing. How many total crewed moon landings were there? In other words, how many times did man land upon the moon? And as a bonus to that, how many men have walked the moon in total? And an extra bonus point, what year was the final crewed mission to the moon? Apollo 11 was the first manned moon landing. How many total crewed moon landings were there? And as a bonus, how many men have walked on the moon? An extra bonus, what year was the final crewed mission to the moon? Question number 7. The Apollo 11 astronauts had to fill out customs declaration forms upon their return to Earth. Is that true or false? And the last question of this category. Shortly after landing on the moon, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin performed what religious ritual? Shortly after landing on the moon, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin performed what religious ritual? All right. Well, let's review your answers to that. To the category of the moon landing, 1969, July, that historic day when man first set foot on the moon. Question 1. To ancient astronomers, the large flat plains of the moon resembled seas, so they named them accordingly. Which sea did the Apollo 11 astronauts land upon? That was the Sea of Tranquility. Remember the transmission? Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. And in fact, that's the answer to question 2. What animal is featured on the official Apollo 11 emblem patch? It is the eagle. The eagle has landed. Number 3, the day before the moon landing, another major news event, this one involving a Kennedy, claimed the headlines. That was Chappaquiddick with Edward Kennedy. Neil Armstrong carried a piece of wood to the moon, which came from an airplane belonging to Orville and Wilbur Wright. I believe it was from their first plane, the one that first took flight at Kitty Hawk. It's astonishing when you think of it that the first flight occurred just 60 years, I think 60 odd years, maybe right to that day, not to the day, but 60 years it took us from getting off the ground on this first fledgling flight to landing on the moon. That's an incredible timeline. Who was president at the time? He phoned the astronauts from the Oval Office. That was, of course, Richard Nixon. There he is making that call. Apollo 11 was the first manned moon landing. How many total crewed moon landings were there? There were 6 altogether. How many men have walked on the moon? 12. When you think about it, 2 went down each time. A third stayed behind in the command modules. So if there were 6 missions, that would be 12 men walking on the moon. And the final crewed mission to the moon was in 1972. So it's been a long, long time since man has walked on the moon. Question 7. The Apollo 11 astronauts had to fill out customs declaration forms upon their return to Earth. True or false? That, incredibly, is true. There it is. They did bring back moon rocks, and so they had to declare that stuff. Incredible how the bureaucracy works. And shortly after landing on the moon, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin took Holy Communion. That was the religious ritual that was being referred to there. So how did that category go for you? If you were a history buff and were around at that time, you might have done pretty well on that category, or were interested in space. Ready for category number 3? Let's see if we can get that arranged for you. And this one is going to be a more artsy category. This is give my regards to Broadway musicals specifically. That is our category. So we'll see how you do with this one. All right, in this category, I am going to play a snippet of music for you, and you are going to get 1 point if you can guess the song title, and an extra point if you can name the Broadway play that the song was part of. As always, you're able to pause these recordings and replay the snippet as many times as you need to before you move on to the next question, so we'll move through these rather rapidly. Here we go with snippet number 1. Have a listen.
Clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none when I'm stuck with a day.
All right, again, we need the song title and the play that it originated from. Here's number 2.
And there's nothing for me but Maria. Every sight that I see is Maria.
All right. Song number 3. And this one isn't very long, so you have to listen closely.
Car and a whoopee spot where the gin is cold.
Not very long at all. In fact, let's listen to that
Car
again.
and a whoopee spot where the gin is cold.
Good luck with that one. That one isn't very long at all. Number 4.
All alone in the moonlight, I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then. I remember the time I...
All right. Let's go on to number 5. Here you go.
Now, and nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down. I hope you're...
All right, that rather loud sample. Guess what that song title is and the play that it came from. Here's number 6.
Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away.
All right. Song number 7. Song number 8.
The envy of all I see. For Papa, make him a scholar. For Mama, make him rich as a king. For me, well, I wouldn't holler if he were as handsome as anything.
Question number 9. Here's your song.
Like a million miles away from me, you couldn't see how I adored you. So close,
And the final song from the category Broadway musicals. Here we go.
A dream that you'll need all the love you can give. Every day of your life, for as long as you live.
you've completed all of the questions in this category, so let's go back and review. Here was question number 1. Let's play the song snippet again.
Clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day.
Ah, yes, that was the song Tomorrow from the musical Annie. Number 2.
And there's nothing for me but Maria. Every sight that I see is Maria.
From West Side Story, the song is Tonight, Tonight. The one with the very, very short snippet.
Car and over whoopee spot where the gin is cold.
Boy, if you got that one on that's pretty good. That is All That Jazz from the play Chicago.
All alone in the moonlight, I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then. I remember the time.
The lovely song Memory from Cats. Number 5.
And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down.
That rather loud sample is Defying Gravity from Wicked. Number 6.
Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away.
From Phantom of the Opera, Music of the Night. Number 7.
Away the swords, the chain will be broken, and all men will have their reward. Will you join in our crusade to be strong and stand with me?
Can you hear the people sing from Les Mis, from Les Miserables? Number 8.
The envy of all I see. For Papa, make him a scholar. For Mama, make him rich as a king. For me, well, I wouldn't holler if he were as handsome as anything.
Yeah, Matchmaker from Fiddler on the Roof. Number 9.
Like a million miles away from me, you couldn't see how I adored you. So close, and
My Eyes Adored You from Jersey Boys. And the final question of the category.
I dream that you'll need all the love you can give every day of your life for as long as you live.
Sung by the Mother Superior in that movie. It was later a movie. Climb Every Mountain from The Sound of Music. Before we move on to our next category, we have a little announcement we'd like to have you listen to. Just a short little spot. Here you go.
Hello, today I'm going to talk about the Everywhere Book Fest. It's a virtual book festival for middle grade and young adult readers today, May 1st, and tomorrow, May 2nd. It has lots of options, including talks from favorite authors and illustrators where they talk about their books and many other topics, and have fun activities like drawing contests and truth or dare. If you have enjoyed any of these books that I'm going to hold up, then this is definitely something for you because these are just some of the authors that are going to be talking during Everywhere Book Fest. So if this is something that interests you, go to everywherebookfest.com to check it out. Have fun!
All right. Hey, thank you, Veronica, for that information. And now let's move on to our next category. That category centers around Hawkeye history. Trivia about Hawkeye sports. Here we go. Question number 1. Who coached Iowa to a Rose Bowl victory and a shared national championship in 1958? Who was Iowa's head coach in their Rose Bowl trip and victory in 1958? They shared a national championship that year. Again, pause if you need extra time. We are moving on. Question number 2. Which former Hawkeye basketball player won 3 NBA titles with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls? Which former Hawkeye basketball player won 3 NBA titles with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls? Number 3. What team dashed Iowa's hopes of a national championship appearance in the 1980 Final Four national semifinals? What team dashed Iowa's hopes of a national championship appearance in the 1980 Final Four national semifinals? What team was that? Question 4. Whose jersey, number 40, is retired by the University of Iowa? Whose jersey, number 40, is retired by the U of I? Question 5. Chuck Long was the Heisman Trophy runner-up in 1985. To which player? Who actually won that trophy in 85? Chuck Long was the runner-up for the Heisman that year. Who is he the runner-up to? Question 6. Legendary Iowa head coach Hayden Fry spent how many seasons at the helm of the Hawkeyes? And just because we don't really need an exact number of years, we'll give you a plus or minus 1 year either side of that. Legendary Iowa head coach Hayden Fry spent how many seasons at the helm of the Hawkeyes? Plus or minus a year. In 1985, the Iowa Hawkeyes lost only 2 games, the last being in the 1986 Rose Bowl to UCLA. Who beat them in the regular season? In 1985, the Iowa Hawkeyes lost only 2 games, the last being in the 1986 Rose Bowl to UCLA. Who beat them in the regular season? Number 8, at which school was Steve Alford coach before the University of Iowa? Where was Steve Alford before he came to the U of I? What college, what university? Number 9, which team coached by the Shark spoiled the Hawkeyes' Final Four bid in 1987? Which team coached by the Shark spoiled the Hawkeyes' Final Four bid in 1980? And the final question of the category of Iowa sports, what year did Carver Hawkeye Arena open? And we'll need the exact year for this one. What year did Carver Hawkeye Arena open? All right, let's take a review of the answers to Hawkeye history. Who coached Iowa to a Rose Bowl victory and a shared national championship in 1958? That was Forrest Evashevsky. Which former Hawkeye basketball player won 3 NBA titles with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls? That was B.J. Armstrong. What team dashed Iowa's hopes of a national championship appearance in the 1980 Final Four national semifinals? That was Louisville. However you want to say that. The University of Iowa retired the jersey of Chris Street, who was killed in a tragic accident. Number 5, Chuck Long was the Heisman Trophy runner-up in 1984 to the great Bo Jackson. Legendary Iowa head coach Hayden Fry spent how many seasons at the helm of the Iowa Hawkeyes? Why, that was exactly 20 years. So if you had 19, that works. 20 works. 21 works. Plus or minus 1 year. In 1985, the Iowa Hawkeyes lost only 2 games, the last being in the 1986 Rose Bowl to UCLA, who beat them in the regular season. That was Ohio State. At which school was Steve Alford coach before the University of Iowa? Southwest Missouri State is the correct answer. Which team, coached by the Shark, spoiled the Hawkeyes' Final Four bid in 1987? That was Jerry Tarkanian's UNLV team. Very exciting game. Heartbreaker if you were a Hawkeye fan. And Carver Hawkeye Arena opened in 1983. All right, well, this next category is going to be a gold mine if you're a Harry Potter fan. The category is Harry Potter and the Trivia Challenge. This is about all things Harry Potter. So let's see how well-read you are on the Harry Potter phenomenon. Here we go with question 1. Who wrote the Harry Potter book series? Who is the author? And as a bonus, what is the author's middle name? Who wrote the Harry Potter book series? And as a bonus, what is the author's middle name? You can pause if you need extra time. We are moving on. Wizarding children who attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry are sorted into 4 houses, named after the 4 founders of Hogwarts. Name the 4 Hogwarts houses. As a bonus, include the founders' first names. All right. If you need extra time, pause it here and write down your answers. Question 3. How many books are in the Harry Potter series? And as a bonus, name all the titles of the books. You can give yourself a point for each correct guess. Number 4. Wizards and witches in the Harry Potter books love playing a sport played on broomsticks. What is that game? As a bonus, name all the player positions. And as a second bonus, name the 3 types of balls at play. Number 5. Throughout the book series, Harry Potter must work to defeat one of the most evil wizards of all time. What is this dark wizard called? As a bonus, what is this wizard's real name and the 2 other names he is referred to by throughout the books? So give yourself a point for each element of that question. Pause if you need extra time. Number 6. Harry Potter has 2 best friends, a Muggle-born girl and a boy from an ancient wizarding family. Who are they? And here's another bonus for you. Name all the members of the boy's family, giving yourself a point for each correct guess. Number 7. Although not Harry Potter's greatest enemy, there is a student at Hogwarts who bullies Harry Potter and his friends. What is his or her name? As a bonus, what are the names of his or her 2 friends? So we need the name of the bully and the bully's friends. All right. Number 8, the headmaster at Hogwarts for the majority of the books is also a mentor to Harry Potter. What is his or her name? As a bonus, what is his or her full name? Number 9, what does Harry Potter have to destroy in order to finally defeat the Dark Wizard? And as a bonus, name them all. Pause if you need extra time. And the final question, there are 2 main factions that battle against each other in both the First and Second Wizarding Wars. One evil, led by our big bad wizard, and the other good, led by Dumbledore. Who were these 2 factions? And name 2 members from each group. Okay. All right, let's go back and review in the category of Harry Potter and the Trivia Challenge. Question 1, who wrote the Harry Potter book series and what was the author's middle name? That was J.K. Rowling. Joanne Rowling has no middle name. The K from her pen name comes from her paternal grandmother's name. So she just had an initial there for her pen name. Wizarding children who attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry are sorted into 4 houses. There are your answers. Rather than tongue twist myself, I will let you read the answers there, and you can see how you did on that question. Number 3, how many books are in the Harry Potter series? And name them all if you can. Here they are. The correct number is 7. Number 4, witches and wizards in the Harry Potter series love playing a sport on broomsticks that's called Kidditch or Quidditch. You're supposed to, as a bonus, name all the player positions: Seeker, Keeper, Beater, and Chaser, and name the 3 types of balls at play: Quaffle, Bludger, and Golden Snitch. Number 5, throughout the book series, Harry Potter must work to defeat one of the most evil wizards of all time. That was Lord Voldemort, as you can see there. The bonus question, what is the wizard's real name? That is Tom Marvolo Riddle, which is an anagram for I am Lord Voldemort. And other names he is referred to by throughout the book is the Dark Lord and He Who Must Not Be Named. All right, question 6. Harry Potter has 2 best friends, a muggle-born girl and a boy from an ancient wizarding family. Who are they? There are their names, and the members of all the boys' family is listed there as well. So pause if you need time to review that. We're moving on to the answer to question 7. Although not Harry Potter's greatest enemy, there is a student at Hogwarts who bullies Harry and his friends. That is Draco Malfoy. And Draco's friends include Vincent Crabbe and Gregory Goyle. What are the names of the antagonist's 2 friends, Vincent Crabbe and Gregory Goyle? Number 8, the headmaster at Hogwarts for the majority of books is also a mentor. What is his name? And then as a bonus, what is his or her full name? That would be Dumbledore. His full name is Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. Number 9, what does Harry Potter have to destroy in order to finally defeat the Dark Wizard? Horcruxes are what needs destruction, and as a bonus, there is the name of all of them. So review those, if you will. I will not read them. And number 10, there are two main factions that battle against each other in both the First and Second Wizarding Wars, one evil, one good. Who are the two factions? There you go, the Death Eaters and Order of the Phoenix. And name two members from each group. I'll give you the entire census right here. You can review that and see if your answers corresponded to this. Pause if you need to. All right. Well, I wouldn't have done very good in this category because I'm not a Harry Potter book reader, but if you were, this would be a good test of your how much knowledge you've retained from those from that classic series. All right. We have completed 5 categories, and we are ready to move on to our final triple trivia challenge. We actually have 3 categories that we want to have you answer. And so you're going to wager some or all of your accumulated points to this point on these 3 categories. And I will show you what they are so that you can make your wager and write it down on a piece of paper or file it way up here. Here you go. Oh, we got to push that out there, don't we? All right, the categories are Asian history is category 1, category 2 is famous paintings, and category 3 is space. So depending on your confidence level of your knowledge in these areas, make your wagers accordingly. And we'll move on to the questions then. Asian history. This 13th century warrior created the world's largest contiguous empire, stretching from Eastern Europe to the Pacific. This 13th century warrior created the world's largest contiguous empire, stretching from Eastern Europe to the Pacific. The next category was famous paintings. The Mona Lisa's eyebrows are noteworthy in what way? In the category famous paintings, the Mona Lisa's eyebrows are noteworthy in what way? And the final triple trivia question in the category space, the planet closest to the sun. Name that planet. The planet closest to the sun. All right, let's go and review your answers and the correct answers to triple trivia challenge. Here we go. Asian history, this 13th century warrior, that would be Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan. And what is noteworthy about Mona Lisa's eyebrows? Well, she has none. She has none. And the planet closest to the sun would be Mercury. Mercury. All right, so add or subtract from your point total accordingly, depending on how you did in the triple trivia challenge, and then you have your final score. I hope you were challenged by our categories and questions today, and I hope you come back next week when we'll have another edition, our 4th in the series of Trivia Never Dies. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming.